take a heading for conditions. This is where we start our conditions concept, if else and all those. It's a again a most famous thing in programming, right? Let me take my Jamboard. Again, so now let us try to understand a little bit of evolution of programming. So my 60 seconds or 30 seconds a time for you guys is, if you are the creator of any Python, not Python, if you are the creator of any programming, how do you think you would like programming to do the task for you? Imagine you are the creator of the programming guy. You want to create your own programming language. What are the things that you want to take care when you want to create a language? Just for 10 seconds at least, I will tell my answer in that way. I'm sure by this time you realize that Python is actually very easy to use and to learn. So yeah. Okay, if I'm being the creator of any programming language, in my career, of course, I established my own compiler, executable compiler, and I'm trying to create one programming language altogether, but that's for my futuristic purpose. Right now, if I'm the creator of it, let's imagine this is a program file. If I write 10 files or 10 lines, what happens with this is it will definitely go line by line as per my interpreter logic, right? Let's say there are 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 lines are there, which consists of 6 tasks. So if you execute this particular file, obviously it will go through each and every line and it will give you an output, right? But what if there is a situation where we'll assume the same 6 lines, but I want to execute this specific line only when a certain situation occurs. Not in all the cases, not in all the scenarios, but only based on one situation occurrence. It means they are dependent on one action to another action, or dependent on one task to another task. That is exactly where the conditions concept come. You don't need to execute all the tasks, all the operations that you have in the entire programming file. You can decide which line to execute when. It means there is a need of conditions where you can let the program know you execute this specific line only based on certain conditions met or certain scenarios. So that is exactly where we come to concepts. There are if conditions, there is if else condition, there is if-elif-else condition in Python, else if in other languages. It is elif in Python, guys. That might be the comparison of other programming language. If you mix and match everything, that is going to be nested combination. Okay, speaking about if there is only one condition that you want to cross check, then only you can decide a particular line to execute. That is only one if condition. This is enough. What if there are two different tasks? If something happens, then only you do this, else you go for this. Is like a backup. For example, this block, I call it a block. This block should be executed, which consists of multiple lines of code. You execute this specific code only if a particular condition is met, only if this is true. This is exactly where I'm bringing that Boolean concept. If this condition or expression, whatever you write in this common brackets, is true and met, then only you execute all these lines. If not, if this is failing, then you have a backup, which is under else. You go and execute these specific lines. So it's like either or. Either execute this or you go for this. This is exactly how if else is used. Now there is little more advancement in this. Maybe you two conditions are not enough. You want multiple conditions. That is where if else if comes. Let's take an example again. If it is true, go for these lines. Elif, it means if this is false, then only you go to next one, execute these many number of lines. If this is also false, then you go for a backup, which is a rest all, nothing, none of the above cases. So you can go to the this execution. All right, let me give a real-time example. If you have a chocolate, eat it, or if you have a biscuit, eat it, or if you don't have anything, just sit quiet. It's just like that. Okay, again, another advancement is needed. What if there are multiple conditions, not just one or two or three? You can use any number of elifs as you wish, just like this. If execution elif. So you can have n number of elifs, and last way you can keep a backup as else. And it's not mandatory to use else. It's up to you if you want to put rest all cases. So this is how the entire things look like. Nested is nothing but combination of multiple conditions inside another condition. It's going to be like this: if, or elif. So based on the situation and condition, the position matters. So I think all of this will make sense once we take an example. So let me take a syntax. If is a keyword. If you remember, I said something called keyword, which is a reserved word, also called as reserved word. If you write if, it means it will understand that there is a syntax, there is a certain task that it will have to do, and whenever you use this combination of I and F character. Okay, so yeah, let's take if. Let me write true. I myself declaring the condition is true. Okay, please use colon. You can give spaces as many you wish. That doesn't change anything, but you must give a single space minimum after if. If true, colon is our syntax for if condition. Then as soon as you press enter, immediately you can see that it is giving you two spaces difference, which is called as indentation. This is exactly why I said do not write as per your wish in Python, because these spaces are meaning something in few concepts, and this is one of such concepts. So if condition with this space means if this condition satisfies, or if the condition is true. In my case, I'm just writing true, or in generically in real time you can write conditions or expressions there using operators. We will write an example soon, but right now if this is true, you go inside and print whatever you wish. Let's say I1. In my case, I said it's true, so it has to print I1. Let us run this. So it's I1. If I make it false, instead of true, if I make it false, it's gonna be not gonna be printing it. All right, so I think you already know what is this true false thing. I'll not waste my time. Let's take an example. Let's say if it's an even number, you print it, or if it's an odd number, don't print it. So how do we calculate even number or odd number in mathematical way usually? Can I expect any answers? Anybody can reply it. How do we decide a number is an even or any number is an odd number? Can anybody give me a response? I'll wait for 10 seconds. How do you decide a number is an even or an odd? Reminder. Okay, great. So whenever a reminder is 0 and reminder is 1, you divide it with 2, right? So let's say I would like to, if this is a number that I have, I would like to print only even numbers out of these things. So if when I give a number, let's say I will give a number under variable of a. So I can give any number under a. Let me now give 4. Now, if a is divided by 2, and when you divide this number with 2, when it gives you completely 0, it means it's an even number, right? So if you go here, so if I take 4, if I divide it, the remainder is going to be 0. So for any even number, the remainder is 0. So what operator do you think I have to apply here if I'm concentrating on remainder? We have these things: division, floor division, and percentile. If you remember, this will remember decimal values, which is after dividing, you will get the quotient output. This is floor division, which will round it off to previous one or next one. The remainder is going to be for the modulo operator. So I'm going to make use of this operator and apply on the variable. Whenever I apply this operator, if the output is 0, it means it's an even number, right? So let me go and check it. If a in this case is 4, when I apply 2 on top of 2, why 2? Because I'm speaking about even or odd. I'm using common brackets here. If the output is equal to 0, I should not do single equal to, guys. If I do this, it will imagine that I am storing value 0 in so and so. So this comes under variable definition. Please do not make this mistake. You will do it in future sometimes. Please avoid it. when you want to compare value of this, remember we had comparison operator double equal to. So we will go for this inside this and we'll say it's an even number. Only if a number is completely divided by 2. When do we know it's completely divided? When the remainder is 0. So let's check this. It's even. So let me give 5 because 4 is completely divided by 2. If I give 5, see, no output because it's not even. In these cases, I will write else. It means if this condition is false, then it goes to else. Print odd. So let's run this. Odd. So this white spacing automatically I got it whenever I pressed enter, guys. Okay. So this is even. This is odd. This is how you do with conditions. What if there are multiple things? Let's say this time I want to check it's a positive number or a negative number or it's a 0. So now there are 3 cases that I have to deal. How do you identify a number is a positive or negative or 0? Can anybody tell it? I'll give 10 seconds again. When is the number positive? When is the number negative? Obviously the sign matters, but mathematically it's very straightforward that a number is, in my case, let's take A as the input that I would like to give. Now I can either give an input like this, a new concept, guys, or if I want to type when I'm running it, there is a function called input function. You can use this function in this way. You can write a string inside this. Please give me a number. This will ask a request for you to answer. This will give you a box to allow you to type a number. So in this case, I gave an input function and I'll write the logic. If the given input is greater than 0, then it is a good practice if you write common brackets. Then you need to print it's a positive. In this case, I want to deal with 0 and also negative. So there are 3 cases. I will not go for else right away. I'll go for elif. If elif is less than 0, then print negative. Okay. So now else. If it is not positive, if it is not negative, then I would like to rightly write as 0. So somebody is raising the hand. What is the doubts? Whoever raised the hand can unmute and speak if you have something to say. Okay, seems like a mistake. Now let's see. One more thing that we have to keep in mind is whenever I give input function, by default it accepts string as a data type, but I'm giving a number, right? So it has to be an integer data type. So this is where I'll make use of the type conversion. The input that I'm going to give should be converted to integer. That is where I'll apply this function called int. Whenever I apply a function, remember you have to open a common bracket and close it. So all of this inside input function will be an input to int function. Now let us cross check. When I run this, it will give me a nice box. Please give me a number. Let's say positive 6. Press enter. See, it's a positive. Let me give a negative number. Let's say -7. Enter. It's a negative number. Again run it. Let's say a 0. Run it. It says it's a 0. So this is exactly how you can write your expression logic correctly in the conditions. If it is true, it goes inside. If it is false, it will go for alternative conditions if they are existing. If they don't exist, it will go to the else conditions and then here. Okay, so this is how if, elif, and else works. And if the combination of all of this will become nested combination also.